Good morning, grade 4. Today we are going to talk about equivalent fractions. Yesterday we had how to represent fractions using models, and I saw your amazing models in drawing fractions. Thank you. What does it mean the word equivalent fraction means? Equivalent fractions are those fractions that have the same value but may not look the same. For example, here if we have this circle divided in two parts, we can represent the shaded part as 1 out of 2, 1/2. And here you have 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2/4. If we look at these two parts, we can recognize that these two parts are equal, which means that the 1/2 and the 2/4 are called equivalent fractions. One more example to show equivalent fractions. Here you have 1 shaded part out of 3, so it's 1/3. And here you have 3 parts out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we can here also recognize that this part is equivalent to these 3 parts, which means that 1/3 is equivalent to 3/9. If we ask ourselves, how can we guess that 1/3 is equal to 3/9? You can think about a number. When you multiply it, you get 3. What is that number? 1 times what? It's 1 times 3. And here also, if you multiply 3 by 3, also you will get 9. So this is how do we get equivalent fractions using multiplication. Now let's have this exercise. Are these fractions equivalent? 3/4, is it equal to 8/12? Notice here that we don't have models, so we have to decide whether these two fractions are equivalent or no. Think about multiplication. Do you have any number when you multiply it by 3 gives 8? No. Do you have any number that you multiply it by 4 gives 12? Yes, we have 3. But here, if we multiply by 3, you will get 9 and not 8. So these two fractions, 3/4 and 8/12, are not equivalent. So we write no, because the 8 should be 9. Now let's go to this example. 4/16, does it equal to 1/4? You can also use division to show equivalent fractions. How can you make the 4 equals to 1? You divided it by 4, and the same should be done to the denominator. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 4/16 is equal to 1/4. So we write yes. Now let's go to the third example. Does 4/6 equal to 7/12? Think about multiplication or division to check if these two fractions are equivalent. Now you know that when you multiply 6 by 2, you will get a 12. But if you multiply 4 by 2, you should get 8 and not 7. So these two fractions are not equivalent. So we write no. Homework 26 will be about equivalent fractions. I want you to decide whether 5/10 is equal to 1/2, 4/6 does it equal to 13/18, Remember that you can use division or you can use multiplication, and the number you divide by the numerator should be the same you divide by the denominator. And also, when you multiply by any number, you have to multiply by the same number, the numerator and the denominator. Thank you, grade 4.